Good morning, my dear students. Today, let's begin our class with a new topic or new lesson, Society and Economy in Medieval India. This lesson explains about agricultural progress in medieval India, handwork and handicraft development in medieval India, and medieval India's trade and commerce with other countries, and the cities in medieval India and the medieval Indian society. Look here, we can see the observation made by Giovanni Serrare. India was the final destination for all the gold and silver that got exchanged through trade all over the world. The gold and silver amassed by the Europeans from the American continent reached Turkey and Persia, and finally from there to the Hindustan. From this description, we can realize that the India was the center of all the gold and silver, and India got exchanged this exchanged through trade all over the world. That means during the medieval period, India had trade relations with other parts of the world. It is evident that India was an important trade center in the world during the medieval period. The prosperity of India resulted from agricultural progress, and this agricultural progress was attracted by the traders from different parts of the world. Now we can find out how India attained agricultural prosperity during the medieval period. Agricultural progress in medieval India. Okay, agricultural progress in medieval India. Have you heard of Ibn Battuta? Who was he? He was a son of Battuta. He was a Muslim Moroccan scholar and explorer who widely traveled in the medieval world. He, he was born on 24th February 1304. Ibn Battuta, a traveler to India in the 14th century, has described the agricultural progress of India in his book. What is the name of his work? Kitabul Rila. In this book, it is mentioned that there were 3 harvests in a year. The rulers provide all facilities for agricultural progress. Widely, they cultivated paddy, wheat, barley, sugarcane, cotton, oilseeds, and indigo. To extend cultivation, Balban, the then ruler of Sultanate dynasty, he allotted the Doab region. It is the region between Ganga and the Yamuna. We know that this region is a fertile place because it lies between Ganga and Yamuna. They deposited alluvial fertile soil. So this soil is most suitable for the cultivation. So the Balban, the Sultanate ruler, he allotted or he given the Doab region to the farmers for the cultivation. Another famous ruler, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he also sanctioned money in advance to the peasants for digging well to facilitate irrigation. I already told the rulers were the supporters of agriculture. So they provided all facilities for agricultural progress. For example, I told you, for example, Balban, the Sultanate ruler, he allotted Gabab region to the farmers, and Firoz Shah Tughlaq, another famous ruler, he gave money in advance to the peasants. For what purpose? For digging wells. These wells facilitate for to irrigation. For cultivation, they need water. So the farmers dig wells. And also, canals were constructed to carry water from the Yamuna to farmlands. Instead of the constructing wells, they constructed canals. Consequently, agricultural products and wealth increased. Have you heard of Abul Fasal? Who was king? He Abul Fasal, who lived in the court of Akbar. He wrote the book Akbarnama in Persian language. For completing this book, he took 13 years. His another important famous book was Ainai Akbari. Ainai Akbari. He says that, or he explains about 39 varieties of crops were cultivated in Agra. Agra is situated on the banks of river Yamuna. Maize brought from Spain and Africa became a major crop of Western India. Tomato, potato, chili, pineapple, etc. were also cultivated in India. The advent of new tools and technology accelerated the agricultural progress. We can find out which are the new tools and technology used during that time. The Persian wheel used for irrigation was the important among them. The lightweight plough